this story to myself for a long time because I was afraid that no one would believe it. Maybe because me and my two friends were somewhere we weren't supposed to be. I pretty much live in the middle of the Bernalillo National Forest in the southeastern part of the U.S. Back some years ago, my friend's mom had a weekend-long business trip. Plus, it was summer break, so Chris and Matt, my friends, invited me to come stay the weekend with them. We were all around the age of 14, so we assumed we'd have a nice long weekend of video games, movies, and sleeping in until the evening hours. I arrived at Chris and Matt's house just an hour or so before their mom left. As their mother was getting ready to leave, she lectured us all to not be outside at night, and that her friend would come by later to check on us. We all just sat there in the living room nodding our heads as she talked, agreeing that we would not be out at night, knowing good and well that we were definitely going to be out late. So Chris and Matt's mom left. So we started the night off by playing some games on their large living room TV. We turned the volume all the way up and jammed out to some music as well. Later that evening, just before sunset, this friend their mother had spoken of just came in through the front door. None of us heard her coming over the glass, and she instantly starts telling us to turn the TV down, that she could hear it from outside. Then she asked us to clean up a little. Right away, we gave in to her demands. That way, she would leave soon and we could get back to what we were doing. By the time she left, it was completely dark outside, so we waited a few minutes to make sure she was gone. Then we grabbed some firecrackers, the ones I had secretly hidden, and went outside to begin lighting some things up, throwing them at each other, and we may have threw some in the neighbor's garage to see how loud we could get. We weren't the most respectful teenagers. When we did throw a firework inside the garage, it popped and let out an echoing boom. It almost sounded like a shotgun. Then we heard movement from the neighbor's house, and we saw her coming out of the front door screaming. So we bolted into the woods, hoping she hadn't seen us. We took a trail from my friend's house that went deep into the woods. We figured she wouldn't look in the woods this far, and we were right. Looking back, we shouldn't have even went into those woods. None of us had been smart enough to light a flashlight, so we tried using lighters and clothes pins to see the trail. It didn't work too well. As we were nearing the bottom of the trail, I heard what sounded like a lawnmower or something trying to start. Chris spat down all paused in our tracks and surveyed our surroundings. "What could be running this thing?" he asked. I should probably tell you that this sudden loud noise kind of scared us. We had been trying to scare each other with ghost stories and urban legends before we heard it, so we were kind of on edge. We were just standing still in the middle of the woods, listening to the noise, trying to figure out where it was coming from. Then we heard something like moving fast, and what I thought was a very large, and that all realized it at once. This didn't sound like a lawnmower, rather a chainsaw. All of us spoke and freaked out. The three of us ran the whole way back out of the trail. Luckily, we reached the beginning of the trail breathless and dragged ourselves back to Chris and Matt's front porch. We just stood there panting and gasping for air, unable to comprehend what the heck happened in those woods. Chris and Matt and I tried to dig alarm and dig out. Still, for another 10 or 15 minutes afterward, we heard the chainsaw running. We just went inside and locked the door, trying to get the dinner ready. So we let the door back in and we started up some more video games. Now, we were three adventurous and curious kids. That chainsaw sound could have just been a weird neighbor doing yard work at night, or something mundane like singing. But we quickly decided to go back out into the trail. We wanted to find the source of this noise.
Max, quit.
My story begins in the southern U.S. when I was a very young man. One day I set out on a long walk, early in the morning by myself. Well, at least I thought I was alone. No one else was at the car park, so I took a neighbor at the door and said hello. You should know that I'm a pretty big guy, 6.5 feet tall and built. And this is important later on. So about halfway through the walk, it started to rain and clouds were forming overhead. I kept on walking though because I enjoyed the rain and I enjoyed the peace of quiet. But that was a big mistake. About 10 minutes later into my walk, that's when I saw something to me. It was the most bizarre and horrifying thing I've ever seen. It was standing ahead of me. I don't think it saw me just yet. It was just up ahead on the path. Whatever it was easily taller than me. It was a big, dark creature. It looked like it didn't have any flesh on its face. It seemed to have bones showing on the surface of its face, and there even seemed to be patches of skin coming off of its body in different places. I just froze there. I just watched it for about 5 minutes, frozen, hoping that it would go away. I thought maybe I could walk around it without it seeing me, so I began to tiptoe, and that was mistake number two. I got close to the creature, nearly past it, but the next time I looked back at it, the thing was right in my face. It seemed to be staring right through me. I shouted Jesus so loud that if anyone else was in the area, they would have definitely heard me. But the shout echoed through the forest and stayed. This monster turned around and hit me as it turned. Then it ran away, knocking me down in the process. I stood back up quickly, but my nose was badly bleeding. I thought the thing was running away. Maybe I had spooked it. I rang my girlfriend and told her everything was okay. And I told her exactly where I was, just in case something happened. I told her I'd see her soon. I hung up, and then I headed back to my car. I was literally running back to my car. I wanted to get back as fast as I could. When I suddenly heard this terrifying scream. I nearly died at the sound of it. Then I saw the same beast spit right past me with ease. It was unnaturally fast. I might be slow due to my size, but this thing was just outrageous. It was out of this world fast. Then I watched it move. This animal stood up on two legs. The creases of its body were disgusting, covered even more gnarly flesh with black ooze. Then it began to move towards me, walking on those two legs. It was fast before, but now it was slow and deliberate, as if it was trying to tease me. I turned and kept running to my car, but I slipped and twisted my knee, and for the first time in my life, I thought I was a dead man. I remember praying some prayer in my head. Then, when I gathered the courage to look back up at my feet, I saw the creature still, but it moved even closer. It was standing still at the tree I went to. It looked directly into my eyes into his. And the most terrifying thing imaginable happened when I looked. It seemed so real. It spoke to me. And it spoke in the same voice, in the same way that I had to my girlfriend on the phone. Then, whatever that thing was, it paralysis episode. Immediately, I began to panic. I mean, when you wake up in the dark and you can't move, who wouldn't panic? But soon I was able to calm myself down. That was until I saw the thing at the end of my bed. It was tall, sitting on the railing of my bed. It was black, with no face or any features at all. I still couldn't seem to move. Once I felt the thing, it started to crawl towards me. I was home with my aunt in the house, since my parents were out of town for a couple of days, and she's a bit of a heavy sleeper. So when I screamed as loud as I possibly could, she just kept sleeping away. I looked back up at this thing, and it was right in front of me. It seemed to stare at me for a long while, and then it crawled back to the end of the bed. After a long and terrifying moment, the creature exited the room. I don't know where it went, and I don't really want to, but I haven't seen it again, at least not yet. I never believed in things like the supernatural before this night. I have no idea what on earth that was, but I really wanted to find out why it was there. I still have nightmares of this creature, and I don't know what it is. I feel that it's still here in my house. Number 4. Monster in the Woods. Submitted by Blackheart. My husband and I were fishing from our boat one night at the lake not far from our home. We weren't very far offshore, but the lake was deep there. We fished at night quite often if we could catch the bigger fish. It was very quiet and calm, peaceful, and we heard the most horrible screaming. It kind of had a break on the next morning. It was definitely the weirdest noise I've ever heard. We were very outdoorsy people, and heard many wild noises in our day. But this screaming was definitely different, something we'd never heard before. After the scream faded, I could hear something big coming towards the lake. It was moving fast, too. It sounded like it was snapping tree branches and crashing through the woods. We decided it was time to go home. Maybe 5 minutes had passed. To the shore of the lake. It must have been moving quickly, because we were pushed out about a mile away. We did not have a boat, just oars, so we pulled our anchor, and we threw our poles down. We were trying to be as quiet as we were fast, but in another boat, that's hard to do. We could feel it there, in the trees, just watching us. My husband started to row toward where our car was parked. We were only about 30 feet away from the shore. As soon as we began to move, the thing started to follow us. We could hear it stopping in the woods, very loud crashing noises. And where we went, it followed. It seemed to be keeping pace with the boat. This thing, it sounded huge. It didn't sound like it was stepping beside the small trees. It seemed to be stepping over them. We were discussing a plan to load up our boat when we got to the car. The creature was definitely still following us along shore. Whatever it was too big to be a person, and too loud. And it wasn't a bear. I've seen and heard bears in my time, and they do not scream like that. And I could hear it walking on 2 legs. Whatever this was silent except for the noises from it brushing over the trees and the branches breaking. We agreed that my husband would run to the car with me. I would jump in and back the car and trailer to the lake where we would load the boat up quickly. We got to the landing and sat there for a moment offshore. We were hoping this thing would at least come out into the clearing so we could see it, but it didn't. We heard where it stopped, about 20 feet from our car. It was way low, but we could see well enough. Okay, it was time to do this. And my husband rowed the boat as fast as he could and hit the shore. We both jumped out and didn't wait a second to get into the car. We didn't look around, we just focused on doing this. I got the car and trailer packed up. I was making a large stop. The second after that, my husband was calling for me to go, and I went. We both looked towards where we knew the thing had stopped, but we still could not see anything. When we got on the main road, which was about half a mile away from the lake, we stopped. My husband said he had to fix the boat. It was an expensive 15-foot boat, and he had it stranded on the trailer in the end. Since we felt a bit more safe, we decided to fix it up. Throwing things away to nothing. Because we get back in the car right back and forth. A bit safer. And we get there. No sunlight. And the hood of my truck is still up. Wheels are all along. I kind of win whenever I remember going across my truck one more time before he drives us somewhere. And I'll be damned. The truck started right up with no hesitation without talking. We all went our separate ways, happy to have seen sunrise and counting our blessings and swearing to leave the paranormal investigating in this area to others. And swearing that we never should have come back to this area during our first roadtrip weekend. However, all things hold their time, even here in Palm Springs. 3 years later, and while I haven't seen in almost 2 years at that point, I finally have decided to make a proposition for him. Joe California has a group of himself and 3 other roommates who go out and do seances in haunted places. He asked me if I would be willing to film their sessions in the haunted places. It was for their record, and they would pay me well for the service. I am no wizard, but I've always loved the paranormal, even after what I witnessed in prison. I still hadn't reached the scratch, and it came to getting scared of anything paranormal and UFO. So I told him yes,
Oh, yeah.
and if had no interest in joining in, I was just okay with watching and just getting to be out there looking into the paranormal once more. So of course my next question was when and where I'll be going to do this first. The answer, a terrible thing to give you. There's so much that won't trust in my gut, and it's over when I change my mind. Remember that rancher of mine up in Chippewa? I asked, as if there was a new rancher in town. Yeah, he
Mm.
said, I'd be honest. I told my group the story, and they wanted me to go through it. To see if I could contact that spirit, find out why it's there, and what it means. That's the plan. And they said, oh, come on, Josh, trust me, it'll be safe. We'll just get your brothers just to sit down with you and be with you. At the time, I was about to become a father. Money was tight and it was difficult. But it wasn't fortunate. Nothing which means mine and my ex-wife's first kid. The kid we weren't even planning on having. Cecily was our first child. She was beautiful, full of energy, intelligent, also tenacious and patient as you could be. She was a silent baby for us. So because my wife was putting us into the program, so to weigh out my fear of the area, she wanted to go fast, and how important it was I make all the extra money I could. So against my better judgment, I accepted the offer. And a week later, I was in the same beat-down celebrity Bob was driving 4 years before. This time with Bob, 2 guys, and a girl that were complete strangers to me. They each dressed very gaudily and had these pentagram necklaces or something of the sort. It was 11:50 when we got there, and 4 of them sat in a tight circle. I was behind them to the right, about 5 feet from the bar entrance, on the hill that led to the hillside, and my back was to the hillside and bushes at the fence line. I was filming them in the circle as they all started chanting something. If you look, as I have been typing this entire post, I have been getting lonesome and saying aloud that I was coming to this part of the story. This part haunts my dreams and even vivid memories to this day. I'm going to do my best to